Next, we're going to look at the most used tool that I have in the entire shop, the workbench. It's used for an end feed table for my table saw because I built it to be the same height, just as a work surface for clamping up boards, finishing small projects, chisel work, hand plane work, sanding, you name it, a multitude of tasks are done much easier using the workbench. It's actually a very economical design. I built it over 10 years ago when funds were extremely tight, but it's actually served me pretty well. It's built from a solid core door top, 4x4 legs, shelf on the bottom, and a shelf off from the top. However, over the years, there's a couple of major drawbacks that have reared their ugly head with this bench. The first one being, there's no way to flatten it once it becomes wavy. And trust me, over 10 years of use, changes in humidity, a top is going to become wavy. And because it's built from a solid core door, there's no way to flatten it. Also, the second thing that I've really become to dislike about this bench is it's lightweight. And when you're using hand planes and pushing against them on a piece of wood, you're actually walking this bench all over the shop, and it's not a pretty sight. So, I think it's time for an upgrade. Here's what I've been dreaming about for years for a workbench. Made from solid, hard maple, a traditional cabinet maker style workbench. Now, this is going to be a pretty big undertaking and probably take many podcasts to get through, but if you're up to the task, so am I. So this may be something further down the line, but it's definitely a project that's coming. Stay tuned. This next work group of tools consists of, first, the lathe, which I was bit by the turning bug about 5 years ago and have never been the same since. I really do enjoy turning. It's something that's relaxing for me. It's different from building furniture, for me anyway, in the fact that it's much more, you get much more of an instant gratification from it. You can start from a green piece of wood, have a finished product in an hour or two. So we'll definitely be doing some turning videos as well, so stay tuned for that. This is probably the most recent addition to my shop. This was built last year, just a chisel cabinet somewhere that I can have easy access to my turning tools. I don't have to fumble around in a drawer or look through sawdust to try to find them. It also gives me access to the measuring devices and also a small shelf up top for drying out bowls. Also in this work group is the sanding center. Mainly consists of the Tormac, which I use to sharpen plane irons, chisels, turning chisels, really anything in the shop that needs sharpening, Tormac can handle. And that's the beauty of this machine, is its versatility. The rest of the sanding center really consists of storage, which I need every bit of it because of all the jigs that I have for the Tormac, plus all the chucks, jigs, and other paraphernalia that goes along with the lathe. So, but it's all right here. And that's the beauty of having a work group, is not to have to chase all over the shop trying to find screwdrivers, wrenches, jigs, chucks, whatever you're needing for a particular work group station. Everything needs to be right there, and it will save you a tremendous amount of time if you'll just set your tools up this way. The last work group of tools that we'll look at consists of 14-inch bandsaw with a 6-inch riser on it that gives me 12 inches of resawing capacity. That's really more than I've ever needed in resawing, but where the extra height really comes into play is in cutting out blanks for the lathe. Next tool that we have is the router table. It has a fixed base router, storage underneath, have another router that I use, and also some other jigs and things for the handheld router, and also bandsaw blades for the bandsaw I keep in there as well, again, so they're close at hand. Last tool in this work group is the drill press. Now here's where I'd like to make a couple of different upgrades. First off, to the tabletop. What I have right now is simply a sheet of plywood that's bolted to the round cast iron tabletop that came with the drill press. This is an improvement. It does give me a much larger work surface to deal with, but that's really all that it gives me. What I would like is to incorporate a fence system along with this tabletop. That would make this drill press much more functional and much faster to set up for drilling operations. So we'll do that in a future podcast. The next thing that I would like to do is a storage cabinet hung on the wall behind me here to put my drill bits in. I just talked about how it's always better to have everything grouped together that you need for your tools. Well, shame on me. All of my drill bits that go with the drill press are in the cabinets on the other end of the shop. While I don't have a huge shop, it's not like it takes me 10 minutes to walk over there to get them. It's just not as good a setup as it could be. By having the drill bits in a case right here, they're at my fingertips, which is always better. So we'll look at doing a cabinet design for some drill bits in a podcast. You call it podcast? I like to call mine podcasts. The last area of the shop that I wanted to show you was where I store the sheet goods at. It's not pretty, it's not organized, and it's in dire need of an upgrade. And does this happen in your shop as well? If you need a sheet of plywood and it's stacked against the wall like that, is it always in the very back? Always. Anytime that I need a sheet of plywood, it's always back here. Never right here. Why is that? I don't understand. But anyway, what I thought an improvement would be to build a platform on casters, one end bolted to the wall, the other end with a swivel caster right here where it could be swiveled out. The sheet goods are just slid in to the storage area. That way, when it's pulled out to here, I can just slide the piece of plywood out, and when I'm done, slide it back against the wall. That way, it doesn't matter if it's in the back or the front and the middle. I can always get to it. So that's definitely an improvement that I want to make before I lose my mind. Well, that wraps up part 2 of our shop tour. Again, just like with part 1, if you've seen anything that you'd like to ask a question on or just want some more information about, we'd love to hear from you. Go to our website at www.woodworkersresource.com. From the home page, click on the video blog tab. That'll take you to the video blog page. Go figure that. From there, you'll see a list of our videos. Click on shop tour number 2, and there you'll see the viewing page. Underneath the screen, you'll see a place to leave your name, email address, and your question or comment. And don't worry, we will not sell or share your email address with anyone. We're the only ones that will see it, and we'll only use it to respond to your question if need be. So don't worry. Also, while you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for our free monthly newsletter. And again, just a friendly reminder about the Woodworkers Resource online gift store, where you're bound to find the perfect gift for yourself or any woodworker in your life. We've also completely redone the resources page on the website. There you'll find a lot more information to increase your knowledge of woodworking. Just as an example, we've added a podcasting tab. There you'll see other woodworking podcasters that personally I like to watch. People like thewoodwhisperer.com, mattsbasementwoodshop.com, and furnitology.com. All these guys do a great job in teaching different aspects of woodworking, so check them out today. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, until next time, please be safe in the shop. Thanks, everybody. What I would like to do is incorporate a new fence system. That would make this tool much more functional. I make up my own words here. I like them.